What's up YouTube, this is Tien, bringing you a new Atlas strategy video, this time for 3.7 Legion League, and I have a lot of topics I want to cover, and it's going to be a longer video because I'm going to talk about a concept called the zero maintenance Elder Square. But first, let's talk about low tier Alch and Go. We're going to talk about how to do the Elder Orb Shaper Orb combo for low tier Alch and Go. We're going to talk about small map meta and why you might want to run a map like Strand or Beach. We're going to talk about the Zana map mods that I like. We're going to talk about the new div cards, early Shaper Orb candidates, early Elder Orb candidates, and then we're going to get into the zero maintenance Elder Square. In the description below, I will have a link to my previous Atlas strategy videos where you can hear about the Elder Square or how I choose my shaped maps. And then also, I'm going to have a timestamp in which you can fast forward to the zero maintenance Elder Square. Okay, so let's get into it. What's the low tier Alch and Go candidates for this league? So maybe before you get your Elder Orb, basically what you need is a map that only has one adjacent higher tier map. So you can use your Shaper Orb on that, and then you can basically just spam a low tier map over and over. So Alleyways is the first one of these candidates. You would shape up Pier to tier 8 and then have no 2s or 3s completed, and you could just spam Alleyways. Same thing for Grotto, which is my second candidate. You would shape up Fungal Hollow, and then you could just have no 4s or 5s completed and just spam Grottos. The other maps are Cage, Graveyard, Vault, Pen, Channel. These are all good low tier Alch and Go strategy maps. I picked those ones because they have good divination cards on them, or generally pretty easy, favorable to run. Now, if you are a little bit more developed in your Atlas, you've completed the quest line, and you have your Elder Orb, and you want to still Alch and Go a map like Burial Chambers, one thing you can do is you can shape up, say Maze for example, and then Elder Promenade, or vice versa, shape up Promenade and Elder up Maze, and have no 5s or 6 completed, and then you could spam tier 5 Burial Chambers. Might be a popular strategy if you're looking to farm Doctor Divination cards. So yeah, that is something you can do to do your Shaper Elder Orb combo to low tier Alch and Go. I'm going to talk really quickly about why you might want to do a map like Strand or Beach. So if it's a small map meta, the most recent league mechanics that come to mind are like Incursion and Betrayal. People went as far as spamming the Quarry Zone to try and get as much league mechanic as they could very quickly because it was very profitable. I think Harbor Bridge farming was a thing during Betrayal where people would just spam it until they could, get their syndicate board lined up the way that they wanted. Anyways, if it's a small map meta, maybe you want as many legions per hour as possible. I don't know what legion is going to be like, but say you want to try and get as many splinters and emblems of a particular legion, as fast as possible, as much as possible. You might want to do one of these smaller maps, and Strand or Beach are just the ones that I chose because they're just generally pretty small, pretty linear maps. You could just spam these maps. So for Strand, I would upgrade Peninsula by shaping it and have no 4s or 5s and just spam Strands over and over. Maybe the league mechanic gets me lots of maps back, and so I don't care how big the map is. Same thing with Beach. I could just shape up Jungle Valley and then Elder Orb Peninsula or vice versa and just spam Beach over and over. If you have a favorite lower tier map that you like spamming, maybe Barrows, upgrade Arachnatomb and Arid Lake. Do whatever you want to spam these low tier maps and get as many emblems per hour. Now let's talk about the Zana map device mods that I like. For 2 Chaos, Abyss is an absolute steal. I know the Abyssal Jewels have been nerfed, but Abysses are still just great. When they're running around, they're spawning lots of normal monsters, but then also rare monsters. And at the very end, there's a cache. All of these things can hold maps in them. And when you get the Abyssal Depths, 2-socket Tombfist, Shroud of Lightless, there's lots of valuable items at those Abyssal Depths, as well as those Abyssal Depths actually are 1 tier higher than your current map. So you can get maps from those two, and there's just tons of extra monsters, tons of extra value. So Abyss is pretty hard to ignore. I guess I'll talk briefly about, Domination Bloodlines. Those are kind of just awesome for 3 Chaos. Strong boxes for 4 Chaos, not bad at all, especially if you have the Strongbox Sextant. Beyond, once you get your Headhunter or some Inspired Learnings, it's always pretty fun. I don't think it's great for map sustain. And then Parandus. It's one of those things where if everybody's doing Parandus, it's actually not that good from like a currency perspective. But if nobody's doing Parandus, then those Parandus coins can kind of pay for the investment that you put in. So definitely just look out on the economy, supply and demand for that. But yeah, Abyss is overall, I think, the best one. I think I will be doing Fortune Favors the Brave just because all the options aren't too bad. So let's get into the div cards real quick. Alluring Bounty is the new div card that's 10 exalts. It's only 7 stack. I assume it's going to be pretty rare. Actually, they've been adding cards that are kind of exclusive to unique maps, which I don't really like. So I was really excited to farm like the monochrome Divination card in the Synthesis League, but they added it to like, you know, Poorjoy's map or something, so you couldn't farm it. So it depends on where it drops. Could really change the maps that I want to farm. Buried Treasure is the Sulfite Scarab Divination card. Only a 3 stack, should be pretty cool. I guess lesser of a shout out to the Elder Bone Helmet, depending on the meta. 20 Chance Orbs, a Corrupted Tabula. Those are all good cards, but you know, it just remains to be seen where they are. I'm going to talk really quickly about the early Shaper Orb candidates. Like I said, these can really change depending on div cards and you know, what's popular, what's not. For T10, Bazaar, Volcano, Bog are my favorites. Tier 9, Underground Sea, Port Moon Temple. Tier 8, Toxic Sewer, Dunes, Estuary, Bone Crypt. Tier 7, Vault, Spider Forest, Racecourse, Graveyard. And honestly, anything below that, I don't really matter, or it doesn't really matter to me, just because I'm doing an Elder T16 and then I'm generally just doing one shaped T15. And so Bazaar is good because it has, you know, two bosses in there. If you value your maps, you can get better chance at the sack frags. Volcano I like because of the Combs Heart Divination card. I think it's going to be a life-based meta just because it's kind of near the bottom of the tree, just got completely reworked for melee. But we'll see on that. ES also got nerfed a little bit with the changes to fossils and whatnot. But anyways, let's get into the Zero Maintenance Elder Square. I think people are really interested in this. So let's get into the Elder Orb candidates. So the Elder Orb candidates I have are Channel, and notice Channel can be attacked from 3 directions here. Burial Chambers, which can be attacked from 4 different directions. And Grotto, which can be attacked from 3 different directions. Now, why do I keep mentioning how many directions the map can be attacked from? Well, something I noticed when I was doing the Synthesis flashback is I actually didn't care about the Elder Influence at all because, you know, when you're in flashback, you get all these additional league mechanics in your zone, and you don't need to do the Shaper Elder ping pong because you're just getting tons of value from the free sextant, so to speak. But what I noticed is Elder would spawn in an area, and when he went away, so I would ignore him for 20 maps, when he went away, it actually kept Elder Influence on a certain part of the map. And this is kind of important for the Zero Maintenance Elder Square, because what I thought would happen is that Elder would go away and he would take all of the influence with him. That actually doesn't happen. Like I said, it stays with the main cluster of influence. You can see here in this example, I actually never did my Shaper Strongholds over here. So I don't know if he's like afraid of the Shaper Strongholds or what, but here he actually spawned in maybe one of the worst locations in lower tier maps. What we know about Elder so far is that he generally prefers high clusters of influence, and he generally prefers higher tier maps. Here I would have expected him actually to be in like these higher tier maps over here, but he spawned in kind of mid tier maps. This is still okay though, because he didn't take Courtyard map. And so let's just get into it. Zero Maintenance Elder Square. In this particular example, I want to run City Square. And so I want to introduce a concept called double attacking. So if I were to run City Square, what would happen normally is just one map would get attacked by Elder. I would run it again. Shaper would only attack it once, and we'd be fine and be maintained. Now, sometimes you could run it and it would double attack the map. This was really bad if I believe in Delve League, Underground Sea actually only had 2 different ways to attack Underground Sea. So you would have your main cluster of influence in one spot, and then the Elder Influence would sometimes attack 2 maps, and then when I go to run it again, it would not have any influence on it. Well, here, if I run City Square again, what will happen is that it will see that there's Shaper Influence nearby, and it will go back to normal, and it would remain its ping pong. Similarly, if it double attacked City Square in a toll map, well, there's still adjacent Shaper Influence, and it will go back to being Shaper Influenced after. It will never get removed, right? So basically the plan here is that we're choosing maps like Channel, which have two ways to attack it in both Arachnid Tomb and Arid Lake. So as long as I have an Elder Square on the, basically on the left side of channel or on higher tier maps above channel, what will happen is I'll run channel, it will become Elder influenced, and even if it double attacks channel and Arachnid Tomb, I'll have Shaper influence on Arid Lake to retake it back. Say it double attacks channel and Arid Lake, well, I'll have the Shaper influence on Arachnid Tomb to take it back. And as long as I'm keeping the Elder influence kind of to the left of channel, what will happen is the Elder could spawn, maybe he'll spawn in Crimson Temple, Belfry, Geode, Lighthouse, whatever. He could spawn over there, he'll go away, but as long as I have my Elder influence over here, which I can guarantee with having two different ways to attack it, I'll keep all of my influence near channel and just get to spam it indefinitely. So that's kind of the power of the zero maintenance Elder Square here for burial chambers. You know, you just have your Elder Square in higher tier maps. This wouldn't work if I tried to do an Elder Square in lower tier maps. I would still need to go do the, maybe set up my strongholds and do maintenance maps and stuff like that. Which is still a viable strategy. You can still do it that way. But if you don't want to have any maintenance at all, just put your Elder Square above burial chambers. And, if Elder spawns on tower, malformation, siege, whatever over here, we don't care because it'll go away after we ignore it for 20 maps. But as long as we have a main cluster around burial chambers, it will continue to ping pong indefinitely. Same thing with Grotto. I just want my square up here in higher tier maps. Remember, we wouldn't want it in the lower tier maps because Elder could then spawn on Grotto and that would mess you up. When Elder spawns there, it actually has like portals that are desecrated already and don't have any additional value on them. So just something to keep in mind. You want to keep it in the map of interest is generally going to be in lower tier maps. I choose lower tier maps because they can also be hit by white sextants, which are more common and easier to sustain, and just generally you're getting more value that way. But you could do it for Underground Sea, for example. Say Underground Sea, you want to Elder this map, and you have your Elder Square over here in red maps. If he spawns over here, or say you've already done the Uber Elder quest line and he spawns over here, just ignore him. 20 maps, he'll go away. But as long as you keep your Elder influence over here near Underground Sea, which has two ways to attack it from Scriptorium and Toxic Sewers, you'll be able to indefinitely do Underground Sea with influence. Anyways, I know this has been a long video. Feel free to leave any questions in the comments below or stop by on stream and ask some questions. Best of luck in Legion, and I will see you guys in the next video.